Well, look at what we have here. We have ourselves a nice little evening stream to hang out with you guys as apparently the world is imploding on Mr. Beast. Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Welcome on out. We're going to have a great time tonight as three big news pieces about Mr. Beast. Look, I know we've become the Mr. Beast channel. I get it. We've been talking about this a lot, but I really feel like this is an important story, and those not talking about it are going to be left behind. We're talking about the biggest creator on YouTube on the second. YouTube is the second biggest website in the world, which is owned by the biggest website in the world, Google. It's the number one video platform with the number one creator. And when there's chaos, it trickles down to everybody. I think there's going to be lasting effects to everything that's happening with Mr. Beast right now, as far as a potential another adpocalypse. If things continue to trickle down and things can continue to trickle out, I will be joined by several people potentially tonight, as we're going to be watching and reacting to this video tonight coming from, this is going to be from Dogpack404, who was the guy who released the first 53-minute expose that has 11 million views. And we're going to be doing this live, as this video is going to be going live in 18 minutes. And we're going to be watching and reacting to it in 18 minutes when it is live. So with that said, some other stuff has dropped in the last, I don't know, few minutes, like in the last hour. An email has been dropped, which was previously, I mean, it was an internal email that was put together by the good folks over at MrBeast, and specifically MrBeast himself. So look, this is some crazy stuff. Let's go take a look at this, and we'll just kind of read through this, because there's even more, because there's a Rolling Stone article which just dropped. This is an insane story, and it's going to continue on, but we are going to do it live. We're doing it live. So here we are. So let's get on this thing and check this out. Once again, I'm glad you guys joined me tonight. We'll see how this goes. I figured I'd be watching this thing anyways tonight. So I figured we just all do it together. And like I said, I'm going to have some guests along the way. And whoever hops in, it'll be great. Whoever doesn't will be great as well. If you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well, if you guys like these evening streams as we get going. But here, this is the internal email that was leaked. Now, notice this says company confidential, do not distribute. Okay, right off the bat, 4 minutes after it's released, there's a screenshot that goes out to Drama Alert. Like, how amazing is that? Oh, God, that is crazy. Anyway, so let's go read through this email and just kind of take a look at it as we go along. It says, Dear Team Beast, I want to update all of you on the recent concerns that have been raised online and in the press. As I mentioned in my tweet a couple weeks ago, we hired Quinn Emanuel, a top-tier law firm, to do a full investigation of the Ava Tyson allegations. We also asked them to expand the scope to include a full assessment of our internal culture and to investigate allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the company. We'll get back to that very, very shortly. While the process is not complete, I have enough preliminary information at this point that I'm announcing several changes today. As your leader, I take responsibility and am committed to continue to improve and evolve my leadership style, spoken very corporately. While I have been mostly focused on creating content, launching festivals, building our community, and leading our philanthropic efforts, I recognize that I also need to create a culture that makes all our employees feel safe and allows them to do their work. Now, MrBeast owns, they have a lot of employees at MrBeast now, a lot of people, and what they're seeing is that their actions have consequences for the first time. And these are actions that they had many, many years ago. Some more recent, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But these actions will affect people along the way. And yes, talking about Ava Tyson, Chris Tyson, of course. Therefore, along with Jeff Hausenbold, our new president and COO, we'll be hiring a new chief human resources officer, chief financial officer, and general counsel, along with other roles to add capacity and competencies to foster a better internal culture as we grow. Now, Savvy's going to be joining us. I just see she just popped in, so she'll be popping in as soon as she lets me know on the back end that she's ready to go. So Savvy, let me know. And Savvy's going to be reacting to a couple things that are popping up as well. So it says, to start off, we will be instituting Number one, hiring a new chief human resources officer. We'll be bringing in a seasoned leader to help us build a more inclusive environment. And a world-class HR team. There we are. There we go. Savvy says, here we go. Sav, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you pantsless?
You weren't supposed to let them know, but
Oh,
yes.
sorry, my fault. Listen, I think everybody just assumes you don't have pants on at any time.
Yeah, if the webcam's not on, I didn't want to put on pants.
Well, mine is on, and I don't have pants on, so it's all right. We're all right. We're
Damn,
doing
you live dangerously.
Listen, I could care less. It's crazy. So, have you read this confidential thing that's been quote unquote leaked?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty. Ugh. Look, these are the list of things that I find completely useless in every single company. I don't know how far you got through it or talking about it, but training is not going to change much for somebody who's talking inappropriately to minors. They got more mental problems going on than just sitting through a 30-minute mandatory training session.
Well, the idea is that they do training so they can say, "Look, we told them. We don't do it." What they're doing is they're passing liability off when they do the training. They say, "Look, we did the training. They chose not to show up, or they went through the training. They know." That's the whole idea behind this corporate stuff.
Yeah, it's the biggest scam. Some jackass came up with that concept just to make a couple extra bucks, and somehow it just caught on worldwide.
It is caught on in a major way. So they're hiring a new HR person. They're doing mandatory training. We're implementing mandatory training sessions on safety, sexual harassment, LGBTQ, diversity, sensitivity training, and workplace conduct for all employees. Is this going to be before or after they make jokes about identifying as helicopters? I'm just curious, because that was one of the things that they that was a very big MrBeast meme for a long time. Was, I identify as a helicopter, blah 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 blah, and it's like, it's such a joke. Listening sessions. This is awesome. I love this one. Listening sessions. Jeff will be holding listening sessions across the company to hear directly from employees about their experiences and ideas for improvement. Anonymous reporting. We are establishing an anonymous reporting mechanism to ensure everyone feels safe coming forward with concerns. An external review. We have engaged an independent firm to conduct a thorough review of our policies and practices and implement changes. Now, this is where the home run is hit here at the Sav, at the end, Sav. I want to let you know I'm optimistic about the company's future, and I appreciate all your contributions. We are seeing many examples of your hard work as we recently became the first channel to surpass 300 million YouTube subscribers. Our last two main channel videos were our fastest growing in the company, in the history of the company, and our philanthropic work continues to positively impact our community and planet. In summary, I am fully committed to seeing the investigative process through and acting on the recommendations. We will circle back and share our learnings and any necessary changes. Thank you for your continued teamwork and dedication to our mission and our community. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Jeff directly. Jimmy. Copeside Phil, I think, is right. The leaked document is pure damage control. I don't buy this as leaked at all. I think this was Jimmy wrote this thing, and then it just happened. He's like, "Hey, Keem, here you go," and just passed it on. What your thoughts on that, Saf?
So this reminds me of when I go and look into ESG reports and scores in companies, how they have such fluffy language. There's a
Mm-hmm.
mobile game company that I enjoy, DNA. So they make the stupid Pokemon game that I play. But on their ESG report, they are so desperate for fluff pieces that they add in things like, "We recently switched our fluorescent lights over to LEDs, and now we have a new high-tech AI uh, regulatory thermostat to make sure that we're not using so we're not using too much electricity. Thank you everybody for your compliance, and we look forward to continuing to save the planet." That's what this reads as. Just a pathetic attempt to get some goodwill points for shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right on this. Now, what's interesting is we had Nathan on our show not too long ago. Um, Nathan was one of the guys who kind of came out and leaked the Discord messages. That was the Chris Tyson He was the Chris Tyson mod. He talked about all the stuff that was going on there. He posted this just a little bit ago, and I mean, it's crazy. He said, "We are witnessing the biggest cover-up of all time by MrBeast. I've been doxxed, discredited, and had life-ruining, baseless accusations thrown against my name. Others involved have also, since releasing Chris Tyson's Discord server logs. This has only added more fuel to the fire. Jobs not finished." Well, good for Nathan. Good for Nathan right there.
Did you
Which,
watch the upper echelon video
yes,
from yesterday?
yes, we talked about it today on the show. It was pretty amazing to see that.
I didn't realize they were covering up that much, going back 6 years and deleting, 30 seconds worth of clips. And so that to me, that all just screams like, all right, this is instantly guilty. There's something else going on, because they're doing preemptive stuff. Nobody was talking about some of the other videos. They talked about the most obvious one, but not the other ones. And then the part where they clip out, where he's like, man, I'd hate to go to jail. Why? What was wrong with that? Was that from the private investigator saying, oh, this is a bad look because it looks even worse now?
Right. And if it wasn't so ridiculous, it wouldn't be so funny. I think that's the best way to say it. Speaking of ridiculous, so we have this video dropping, which we're going to do a live reaction to. It's in about 8 minutes from now, which, with the premiere intro and stuff, it'll be 9-10 minutes away. So, but we also had a Rolling Stone article drop, which Rolling Stone, take it or leave it. Before we get to that, look at this. Steph has joined us. My nerdy.
Hi. I hope you don't mind me crashing.
No, I love it. Welcome on in.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Are you ready for all this nonsense?
I am. Yeah, I've been obsessed with it. I've been like obsessively reading and listening to practically everything that's been put out there.
Well, I think that there's like people like, why do you talk about this so much? It's like I said, it's the #1 creator on the #1 video platform on earth. Like, it's worth talking about. This will have trickle down effects across all of YouTube and entertainment. And you've seen this. I'll tell you, who the biggest winner out of all this is? Dude Perfect. Dude Perfect has been able to do this for almost 20 years and maintain a squeaky clean image the entire time and grow and have a $100 million, $500 million company, whatever it is, and do it the right way. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Texas boys. Anyways, did you see this Rolling Stone article, Steph? I have not read this yet.
I haven't read the full thing. I pulled it up on the Wayback Machine. So,
okay, you got it on the Wayback Machine. So, all right. Well, this is interesting because this just dropped as well. I mean, within the last hour. So, it says Ava Chris Tyson used me. This is a former MrBeast collaborator accused of sexual misconduct. Tyson, who is under a third-party workplace investigation, is being accused of sending inappropriate messages and pressuring a former employee into sexual acts.
Is this different from the individual who came forward with that thread on Twitter, or is this a regurgitation of that?
I think this is a brand new story that just dropped.
So so I'm looking at it. It's actually not. They're taking everything that people have been talking about since July and finally making an article about it, because the first few articles are going back and talking about Lava, and Lava did an exclusive interview with Rolling Stone.
Okay. This is Rolling Stone spoke with more than half dozen individuals to corroborate their stories, which seem to show Chris Tyson, using his position of power at MrBeast for free labor, friendship, and sexual encounters. Jess, Ava Tyson's executive assistant, from 2023 to 2024, tells Rolling Stones about her experience working for Tyson. It took me a long time to admit to myself that what happened to me was sexual assault. Yee. So you said you've read through this article, Steph, or you're reading through it right now?
Yeah, I'm reading through it now. Here, let me put it in the private chat.
Oh, I have it pulled up. Yeah, I got it they're ready to go. So we can kind of take a glance as we go through. Kind of pops on here, and this does look like it's a pretty good little piece here. I don't know if I'm a fast enough reader to read this in the next like 10 minutes, but I do think it's definitely worth checking out and really kind of reading through, because just off the title of this, it does not look very good by any means. So
No. See, this is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they knew that this Rolling Stone article is coming out, and so that's why they have all of their editors working overtime, removing all of the stuff, all of the posters, imagery from their videos that were like 6 years old,
right.
Just so it's not there, because Beast has to maintain a squeaky clean image online.
Right.
There's a whole brand based off of that.
Well, he's mucking it up though by deleting it. He should just delete the entirety of the video instead of just editing those out, because it objectively looks worse.
Right. Well, okay, so we're about 3 minutes out from this video being dropped. This is the I Work for MrBeast, He's a Sociopath video. It's going to be dropped from Dogpack, and this is the second video from Dogpack, who has his first video did 11 million views, almost 12 million views in 2 weeks. Has grown his channel from 0 subscribers to 250,000, just based off of everything that's going on there. I think it's important to highlight the word sociopath, right? Because that's the title of this video that we're going to watch here in a second. I Work for MrBeast. He's a sociopath, right? A sociopath, according to the dictionary, which can you trust the dictionary anymore? But
nope.
It is really an adult who has a personality disorder marked by antisocial behavior. A person with an antisocial personality disorder exhibiting antisocial behavior that usually is the result of social and environmental factors in a person's early life. Someone who is a sociopathic personality, a person with antisocial. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The idea of an antisocial person.
So my prediction for that is just going to come down to the awkward nature of Jimmy that we've already seen, and because he's so obsessed with algorithms and just basically he has a one-track mind. It's what actually makes him successful. Because
right.
if you look at some of the top business people in the world, they have abnormal tendencies.
They're like, there's got to be a level of autism in there. Like,
yes. There's something interesting in the brain that goes on. And so I think just thinking about it blindly in that language, he's going to use the awkwardness and the social awkwardness and some of the things that he said as a way to frame him, obviously negatively, but I think it's going to look really bad. Whatever it is, this is just really the start of the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out here in about 60 seconds. Do us a favor, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Ladies, at any point, if you want me to stop the video, just tell me to stop the video, and we'll kind of catch up as we see fit.
I do have a question. So I don't know how quickly YouTube will take things down. I have a feeling this will get mass reported as soon as it goes live, if people aren't already trying to report it now. How quickly does it take to archive a video? And how does that work for premieres, just in case?
I don't know. It's already in their system, so it could potentially already be flagged. So
probably, yeah.
So let's get to these supers real quick. Delta says this is going to be a bloodbath from the thumbnail. Yeah, there's a lot of, you see the stuff over here and
I'm actually pretty curious, because I thought that his next video was going to be about MrBeast philanthropy, because he was just like, that was going to be my next video. But in that research, I uncovered something even worse. So I have no idea what this is going to be about. The fact that he's labeling MrBeast as a sociopath is also interesting, because, usually sociopaths, they are very impulsive, they lack empathy, and they're very irresponsible. So I'm wondering and they hold no remorse either. So I'm wondering what is it going to be?
Well, it makes sense for the game shows that he puts on.
Yeah. And the gambling as well.
Lord Slosh came in and says Jimmy has become beast now. He's transcended his humanity for, let me go get this up. So we're 2 minutes out from the premiere. So get those super chats in now if you have the opportunity. We'll get them in before this starts. He transcends his humanity for product consumption, groomer advocacy, and thinly veiled activism. Thank you, Lord Slosh. Appreciate that. And Copeside Phil came in and says, absolutely no explanation for why Jimmy was fine with having that poster up for so long in his own home. Because they thought it was funny. That's why. You know, it's not funny. But here we go. Let's go get this thing queued up. Ladies, you just say stop if there's any points or anything along the way, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see. Ready to go. So yeah, you know, I think when it comes to like, it's very clear there's issues at this company. There's very clear there's issues with MrBeast. And I got to be honest, I feel like I don't think like this is going to hurt MrBeast. I really don't. I think he's too big at this point. This is one of those things that's like, it's a thing, right? And they'll see this as adversity in a few years. They'll be like, we overcame adversity.
I'm not so sure anymore.
You think there's not
for Rolling Stones to bother to compile information and write a long article the way that they have now, instead of just doing what the other publication did. I don't remember if it was Rolling Stones or the other ones, where they were just like, no, it's just transphobia. Where I think we start to see something.
Yeah, but the Rolling Stone article is very Chris Tyson focused, not MrBeast focused.
All right, well, here we go, ladies. Let's do this thing. Before we go, Hell says,
that'll be interesting.
I don't know who this Mr. Mark the Beast is, but it won't even let me, at the end of the world, distract me from reminding you that you have not finished Chrono Trigger. Shut up, Hell. Let's go.
I'm hungry. All right, jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it.
Oh my God.
What happened to you? MrBeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
All right, here we go.
That's dog pack right there.
Yeah.
Oh, sit like that. Carl, sit like that. It's the worst production night I'm going to make me do. Oh, okay.
Okay, Content Cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support, their stories of fake videos or unsafe practices, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also, I have like more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2. Like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've done dozens of MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. And former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 Boys versus Girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable. You trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Can you pause it?
Anyway, so
yep.
It's interesting that it's a production crew member that did that, right? Because it shows that that's the type of atmosphere that he's created on sets and within his company, that even production crew members, are acting this way.
You know what I find interesting about this video already is that he's actually using the MrBeast formula to start his videos, and that what he's done initially is he's already previewed the next video. He's already had a call to action. He's following the MrBeast formula to expose MrBeast, which is amazing. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I got to give him credit. I haven't seen anybody with the balls to actually make a content cop on YouTube in a long time.
Yeah.
Because those are big shoes to fill. Despite IDubbbz's fall from grace, man, at one point he had everyone on YouTube running scared because you didn't want him to drop a content cop on you. He could actually affect your numbers and stuff. So I kind of love that he's doing this, but man, I heard you guys talking earlier. I don't know that this doesn't scar MrBeast a little bit. We've already seen it affect his numbers a little bit. Obviously, it wasn't enough to stop the steamroll of viewers, but the fact that they were deleting content or deleting comments, the fact that the like to dislike ratio was higher than anything he's ever had before, I do think that this is affecting things. And what we just saw with that little corporate email that you read. MrBeast isn't really in charge right now. Like, Jimmy could say all he wants, all of this stuff, but you bring in those HR companies and you bring in all of those like movers and shakers that are all about diversity and all about that kind of stuff, man, they're gonna hold your feet to the fire, bro. And it's not about just a bunch of buddies making videos anymore now. Like, you are now a corporation, and it's now about your image, and image is everything to these guys,
Yeah, he is a corporation. He's the biggest corporation on YouTube. He's the number one. He's the number one YouTuber worldwide. I think that the reason like this hasn't gone even bigger is because I truly believe that yes, YouTube is protecting this golden boy. We saw so many people. Yeah, like the top 10 streamers, a lot of them have, or not streamers, but YouTubers, a lot of them have gotten into multiple controversies over the years, and slaps on the wrist to all of them. Like, nothing has happened to them because they create so much revenue for YouTube. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. The fact that Beast sent Keemstar that like to dislike thing, and I was just laughing. I was laughing. So I was like, do you really believe this, sir? How long have you been on the internet? Are you kidding me with this BS?
Let's go continue this, but I do want to point out something real quick. Look who's in the chat. MrBeast is in their chat, actually watching this video. MrBeast is right in their chat.
That is a straight up, I'm sorry, that is a straight up power move, almost an intimidation.
My man's is watching the video, bro.
He is straight up telling this person, I'm watching, and I want you to know that I'm watching. That is straight up intimidation by him. There's no reason. He doesn't need to be there.
Wow.
He doesn't need to be on his actual account viewing it. Yeah.
That was a bad move. All right,
let's go and continue on. See where this goes.
That will be part 3. So, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect, because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM, drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine. And I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The
Yeah, I
culture
think
around there
this is
was very
what we all see for sure.
unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you know, you were in the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, that's so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, you know, doing well. And I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, and they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to, or I'll be sad. This is the moment we're going to talk about it. So as far as that, that's my covering up of why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is like admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, "Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised." And then I hit send, and then they go, "Call your mom now." And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly. She goes, "What? I'm on vacation."
Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
But yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get.
Oh, what's going on here?
Beast got him.
Yeah, Beast commented in his chat and he said, "I block you, bye."
I'm still watching it on live.
Yeah. Let me go back a little bit real quick. I got it.
Bro,
here we go.
Like, what a pussy, bro. To show up in somebody's comments, "I block you, bye." Like, get fucked, bro. Like,
he's so childish.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, I
No.
screenshotted it.
He
did.
really
fucking loser.
Yeah, I screenshotted it. Here, I'll send it to you.
Okay, here we go.
Bro,
Let's
what
continue.
a fucking loser, bro. Like, damn.
Jesus. All right.
And I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, "Why didn't you get a cooler car?" I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? You know, if I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room. And that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then
He has 85,000 watching the premiere, by the way.
85,000 people watching this
and climbing.
Damn, dude.
Like people care about this, guys. People care about this. Plus another, you know, we got 1,200 people watching here. I mean, I wasn't expecting this was not scheduled. I just saw this was going live, and I figured I was going to be talking about this anyway. So, well, so this guy talking about like, well, I wish I made money compared to what I brought in. like, okay, I get what he's saying. Now, from a business owner's perspective, right? Like, bring that data to me, right? Show it to me. Show me what you're worth. Show me and show me in clear black and white. This is what I do. This is the revenue it brings in. This is why I'm valued more. And from that perspective, that's his fault, right? That's something that he should do, right?
One of the most damaging things that will happen during all of this that's happening is for them to bring forth people that just have a bone to pick with MrBeast for things that are not legitimate complaints. I don't like that I didn't get paid enough money. Oh man, he kind of stiffed me on a thing that happened. You know, it's going to damage his reputation a little bit. It's going to chip away at it, but those aren't going to be things that are going to help lend credence. In fact, that's going to, douse the fire for the things that are actually going on that need to be addressed, that are actually issues. This happens a lot though, where people go, oh man, people are dogpiling. All right, time for me to jump in and go off about this stuff. It kind of similar with like, what was going on with Chris. It's like, okay, the things that Chris did that are wrong and super bad and even illegal, not even borderline illegal, are like, hey, these things need to be addressed. But somebody going, yeah, I don't know, Chris was kind of creepy one time when I met him, or I got weird vibes from the guy. That's not going to help anything. It's actually going to make things worse. And they actually want those stories to come out because it muddies the waters enough for them to be like, oh man, like, see, everybody's just dogpiling on me. I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, and that's the thing, is like, people need to take a second to actually know, okay, this is a credible conversation that's happening right here, and this person actually knows what's going on behind the scenes. So,
right, yeah, and Dev is right. It says the business is always has to bring in more money on an employee than they spend on the employee. Otherwise, why spend it all? You got to make the money back, right? The idea of an employee, that's literally the job of the employee, is to make more money than they bring in. There's literally a metric that is revenue per employee that companies use. And if it's not higher than the employee, guess what? The business goes out of business and it no longer exists. Well, let's go to continue here.
And how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube. And I didn't even bring up residuals because, oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy, howdy, I could retire. But the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up.
Oh,
and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of these stuff shook out was
white guilt, man. It's powerful.
Oh, sure seems like it, man.
Yeah, oh man, I got paid more than the black guy. I don't know. I feel kind of bad about that, but it's like, yeah, they don't have anything to do with, like whatever you negotiated with MrBeast to get paid, or whatever you negotiated with the team to get paid, it's what you get paid, man. Like but it's also just as dumb if you went into this not knowing what you were going to get paid, not asking what you were going to get paid, just jumping in with it and going, cool, that's fun, I'll just do it. It's like, if you jumped in for clout, then you should expect to only get paid in clout. And if you jumped in and actually get paid and being reimbursed for stuff, you got to have a conversation about that. If they say, yo, we're going to destroy your car, you go, well, here's the value of my car. Am I getting reimbursed for the full value of my car? Or am I just going to be, shit out of luck because you guys did a fun video? It's like, there's got to be, you guys got to, I know they're kids and they're like young 20-somethings, but guess what? Like, this is how life works, man. If you're getting swindled, you got to learn how not to get swindled anymore, Yeah.
As of right now, and Copeside Phil says he did this with the last video, it's all building up to something bigger. All the pieces will fall in place.
That's what I'm thinking too. There's a reason that he's showing this.
Yeah, it is building up. Yeah, I'm ahead of you guys. So.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry, we can't all be you.
No, I'm like maximum tisming right now because like I'm keeping up with the chat and I'm just trying to like watch it as fast as possible just before it gets taken down because I can seriously see that happening.
Okay, well, let's continue then. All right, and we'll watch it in double speed.
I was gonna say Savvy's watching it on like 1.5 speed right now.
I'll speed it up.
I tried to actually.
1.25. Here we go.
When you catch up to everything though, it puts you back to normal. I did try to do that.
Okay, thank you, Savvy. Yes, make sure you download the video too, Sav.
Yes.
I feel really guilty about the way this like shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he,
hold on, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to get paid more because you have a child.
No, because he doesn't have a child.
But what I'm saying,
he doesn't. Yeah.
But
he feels guilty about getting paid more because he doesn't have a kid, and the guy that had a kid got paid less than him. But I'm like, but that's once again, that's on that guy. That's not on you.
I agree.
The stream is being suppressed, by the way. If you try to search for it, I had to actually go to his channel. But if you search for it, like
that's what
happens.
That's what happened. That's what used to happen with content cops all the time too. When content cops would drop, remember like when he dropped one on Jake Paul, it got taken down immediately and removed, and then he had to re-upload it again. Well, no, it was Rice Gum. He did one on Rice Gum, and they got taken down immediately. He had to re-upload it again. Yeah, they do that with these kind of things, so they don't like this kind of content on the
all right,
on the platform.
Let's go and continue.
Yeah, he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, because when you grow up with nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it, so he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, "Hey man, if that's how you feel, like if that's like, I trust you." He stood with me. He went into that meeting with me, and I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, "I need XYZ, or I'm out of here." And they said, "Bet," and they gave me a severance check the next day, and they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, "You're going to give me a check and I get to leave?" I don't get to deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? And I get to go home, and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said, he just wanted to be in the room, And I really regret that. But me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you'll feel better.
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really?
The first thing I would do if I was this guy I would go talk to this other guy and corroborate the story. That's 100% needs to happen. Let's go to continue this though.
He enjoys doing good and helping people.
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal, and I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street, and you saw him.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. That's it. Like
Yeah.
he's yeah. Yep. I thought that was really good. That's a great point. He's making a really great point there. So you can keep going.
Yeah.
An opportunity for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there, and I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ, and then I got the severance checks, so whatever.
So real quick, he says something here about Jimmy, kind of like, can I get some more tears out of you? Can I get some more, whatever, get a bigger reaction? He sounds like every reality show Hollywood producer that's ever existed. You know,
I'm
the
sorry.
idea is they're
Well-
trying to evoke emotion out of it.
Well,
Yeah.
it goes back to that video that they leaked about the pizza delivery person who's getting a really big tip, and he's telling this person, "Hey, look, make the shocked face. Okay,
Right.
look a little bit more shocked." Remember that video that came out? So, I mean, yeah, he needs something for better content because that's the only thing on his mind.
Let's go to continue.
That regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos.
Right. So in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public. Let's have him back for something. You know, yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back. You know, and
Jake back.
I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days in a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there's one video I was in. I got paid a lot for, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, "What? You shouldn't do that." And people don't know that was the second attempt.
Huh.
The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I was already planning on moving to New York, and I worked at a couple of YouTube companies after Beast, and I had a little bit of change in my pocket. The most change I had in my pocket ever. Small potatoes, compared to Beast bullshit. But I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever. And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, "Hey, they want you for a video." I was like, "Oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God." What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park. The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement. But don't worry, like you only have to last like 30. We have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's going to be like a luxury vacation. You're going to have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine. And like part of the video is going to be you deciding like, what items am I going to get rid of, today? And that's like the choice. They were like, it's only going to be bad for the last.
What's that?
I remember that video. I watched that video. The solitary confinement. I watched that video. I used to watch a lot of MrBeast videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I remember that video.
You're
It's
not
interesting
alone.
that.
You said you're not alone. I mean, you were talking about like the most viewed, most watched YouTuber on earth. Of course, you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why people watch his videos just to see the formula of his videos.
I never finished one of his fucking videos.
I used to watch a lot of his videos, a lot of them. So it's interesting that he was the first attempt. I
Started
wonder what
watching
went
his
wrong
shit, and I
with
was
him.
like, "Why is this guy? Why do people watch this guy?" And I turned him off. But
Because it really is. It's just like, let me just turn your brain off. It's that overstimulation of his videos, and you just kind of get sucked into it. And the next thing you know, it's like an hour later and you've just finished watching 5 videos. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. I'm sure he talked about how it didn't end up well. So let's see what psychological damage he has from this.
Like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first. It's going to be like a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, "Excuse me, I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face." Sure. They were like, "You're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up." On paper, I was like, "Okay, I can do this," and they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors had told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. That I held my tongue and I swallowed my pride and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there. And at first it's fine. And I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, you know, which that's probably not good, you know, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. Like it looks good on camera. You know, it's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to like get like a separate like tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, there's not like a hot water mechanism. So the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine. Let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes: on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy mildew. Like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. You know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up like, because you know it's a video, and it got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know, and they said no, because it would fuck up the time lapse shots. The time lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did like, oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Want to know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it. You know, one of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me.
You know, before we continue this, I think the one thing that, and this is going to sound really harsh, really, really harsh, but he's making $10,000 a day to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, part of me is like part of me, the people will call me heartless because they say, well, how can you say that? Right? Like $10,000 a day to do that. It's an incredible amount of money to put up with that.
And also, like, I can't help but think in the back of my mind, like, he is under contract, like he knows what he's so
he's making $416 an hour,
right,
to just hang out in this room. And I know that sucks. Like, I get it, right? The idea of solitary confinement, the idea, and you know what he's talking about here, as far as, you know, the smell of the hot tub, the sound of the ice cream machine, like, I get it. They clearly didn't think through these things, like, clearly, which is why they did it again, and they kind of thought through it a little bit different, right? He was the very expensive guinea pig. Yeah, I'm just very curious.
Who was the beta test?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how much he made from this. And, you know, was it $100,000? $500,000?
Oh, it gets interesting.
Okay. All right. And Savvy's ahead, so we'll see.
I'm quiet, so no spoilers.
What's that?
Savvy's cheating.
I'm quiet because I don't want to spoil anything.
Sounds good. Thank you, Savvy. Hopefully we're like at least hitting something here. You know, let's continue.
Good people looking out for me saying, this we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is a note I got from the director from Jimmy when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans?
Jesus.
Wow.
You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want student loans paid off, you just be in his cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course. And just something about like having the cameras on me all the time. Like I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny. You know, I'm a dark comic. You know, I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor. You know, so this kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit.
Oh God,
don't
tell me
I have
about
jokes
your
about
parents'
that.
life. Oh, like fucking hell. Talk about Jim. I don't care about your parents' life, man. Come on, move on.
Yeah,
like,
I'm hoping this video goes.
I think he's saying that because he's alluding to the fact that it's very manipulative.
Well,
like
yeah, he's trauma dumping, and that's fine. Yeah. I get it. I just don't want to hear it. Like, he's like, oh man, my uncle, man, he was a jerk to me. I'm like, I don't care about that. Get to the meat of the Jimmy stuff.
Right.
Anyways,
right.
That's
It's
just
an
me
important
being
frame of reference, however, when you're building up a character deep dive, and it's important to take a look specifically at the type of people that are being hired because there is a pattern.
I get it, Savvy. I get it, but I don't want to hear about it.
I know, but from a psychological standpoint,
I don't want to listen to his family history. I don't want to listen to the fact that his mom had diabetes when she was 12. I don't care. I just want to hear about how Jimmy's a jerk because I'm mad at MrBeast.
You're saying you got the old Bill Belichick quote.
Well, speaking of MrBeast, the Dog Pack spoke in his chat and said that the MrBeast account is fake, so it's not the real MrBeast account.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he means the first one or the second two messages.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if it's all of it or not.
Yeah.
I act. You know, I joke about it because that's what you do in training experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a tight fight about it. You know, so I'm in the situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse, but we're filming. So I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days. I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera. But it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Did you try to get on?
Yes. I was starting to calculate. I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I? How can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man? I did. Since we're doing time lapse shots and since they insisted on time lapse shots, I said, all right, we're gonna do time lapse shots back. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me, and I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warren came in and erased it. You know, don't put that. Hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there. You know, like we were playing up the joke. You know, it's like I'm the boy in the cage. You know, whatever. Like I'll play into a joke, whatever. It's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. I guess piece of shit. I hate my dad. I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I started to see weird. I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos again. You know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, "All right, you're going to jail. You know, like your dad." And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits." Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm sitting like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so the thing that made me want to, I got to get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, why is he sleeping? I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do 22.6K, whatever it is. You're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic. I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I was on camera. I don't want to do it. You go, just do it for the thing. Like, kid, like there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in house. That's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run.
All right. Dev says something here. He says, this sounds like super mega drama where the guys treated employees like they were high school friends, pulled pranks, etc., and their employees turned on them and called it abusive. So I can speak to this, right? I had a brand called Screw Attack where everybody went there and we would make funny videos and we would do little skits and things like that. And they were both, I wouldn't say they were my employees, but they were also, we were also friends, I would say, but they were more my employees, right? And we'd come up with these ideas, and there were some things that we did, and this is the early internet, where they were not thought out at all, right? So I can relate to some of this stuff, the idea of not thinking through everything. Now, the difference was we didn't have $300,000 prize money on the table. It was just about like pride, right? But the idea of like, there is like an element of like sour grapes to this. The idea that he was offered something, it happened, and it didn't turn out the way he thought it would. And it's the classic, your eyes are bigger than your stomach aspect of it, right? Yeah, I can eat that extra slice of pizza. Yeah, I can have that. And then you eat it and you're like, I regret it immediately, right?
Yeah.
That's almost kind of what this feels like. Am I off the mark on this? Or I mean, please tell me if I am. You can totally tell me that.
I don't think you are. I think that he has been, he's in a mind space to where, from what I'm understanding, he has been cut out of a lot of videos, and he's like, okay, look, I can do this. Like, this is something that I can do, and they can't cut me out of footage. So it's almost like he had something to prove, right? And he wanted to make it good, but at the same time, they're putting him through torture. They're not allowing him to sleep because they're keeping the lights on all the time. And they know that he needs the money.
Yeah.
So, they're making snide comments at him. So it's a double-edged sword to where he thinks he can do it and he wants to do it because he has something to prove, since they've been cutting him out of stuff. But at the same time, he didn't know what he's fully getting himself into, because from what I'm gathering, it sounds like he's being put through torture, and he's made to do it in order to get this money that they know he needs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't need $10,000 a day? Like,
Yeah.
everybody does, And you don't come in with these challenges if what he's giving them based off the content is boring. They got to come in and they got to line it up with these challenges. But
it feels like there's like it's kind of there's like a line here that's tough to like identify, because you go, okay, at what point does the team have to go, hey, this guy's obviously not doing okay.
Right.
And this footage is unwatchable, or if the footage isn't even good and it's not worth it, at what point do you just pull the trigger and go, yo, Jimmy, this is not working, dude. We got to do something different. Like, maybe if we let him sleep at night, maybe, or if we do something a little different and pivot, maybe things can be better. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think at some point you have to stand up for yourself and go, yo, I'm not doing okay, bro. Like, I'm really struggling. And like, okay, I know I don't want to disappoint anybody, but at the same time, dude, I am a human being. And then the other side of it is the team, because like having worked on like, you know, movies and having worked on productions and stuff, you know, a lot of times team members don't want to stop. We had a guy break his knuckle on set one time during a scene, and he didn't tell anybody he broke his knuckle. He didn't want to tell everybody how much pain he was in. And we went out of our way to make sure he was okay, and we checked it, and we asked him how he was doing and stuff. And he said, I'm fine. I know, I'm good. And he went through, and we finished the day out. But at the same time, like if he had told me, hey, I'm in a lot of pain, I don't know if I can keep going, it would be wrong of me to force him to keep going and go, oh man, well, you could tough it out. Come on, buddy. You're all right. You're good, man. Keep going. You know, it's kind of a balance, and I think in the end, it kind of makes both parties look kind of bad in this situation. So,
well, he said that he has said to them, I don't think I can do this anymore. And then the next day, Beast came in with 2 suitcases full of money. Like, no, you're not going to quit. Here's some money. You're going to do this. Dance for me, right? Like, he told them, and the crew obviously knows that he's not handling it very well, because they came to him and said, like, are you okay? We have a horror cut of what happened yesterday. Like, are you all right? So they know that he's not doing well, but they're continuing on anyways. And he has told them, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't think I can do this.
Right. We're not alone in this, because this guy, this is from Internet Anarchist. So MrBeast was right. I'd fire him too. Game is game. You know, I see people just, you know, kind of ragging on this guy. You know, it is what it is at this point. They're trying to tell the story, and we're going to catch up here. As Hell says, a lot of people are underestimating torture and equating it as just something that kind of sucks. Yeah. I mean, so here's, when you're tortured, and this is going to sound really shitty, and that's fine, but when you're tortured, you don't make 10 grand a day.
Right.
Yeah. You know, sorry. It is what it is.
I really think that he had something to prove, and that's why he wanted to keep going. In hindsight, he thought that he could do it, but he couldn't. So it was kind of like, how do I get out of it?
Right. Silverado came in and says, even if he somewhat agreed to this seems like extortion and kidnapping to a degree. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out.
Even in the video that actually like went live, the one that they did with the next guy, you know, even that guy, he was like, it's been a few days. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I want to quit. I want to see my family. Like, they took steps to make sure, even though they were taking things away from him, like they were allowing him to sleep, they were turning out the lights. It's like they did everything wrong with this guy right here, learned from it, and did it differently with the other guy, because like they allowed him to see us. They brought in his girlfriend, and I think like a few members of his family. I can't remember, because it's been forever since I watched that video. But you know, that's why he was able to make it so long. But I mean, it doesn't sound like they were doing, this was the beta test. Like, he was the guinea pig. They were like, okay, well, we did things wrong here, so we're going to do it better in this next video.
Right.
I'm really interested to see how this ends, man. Yeah.
Jay says, torture is a personal experience. You can't judge from the outside what he personally experienced. That's true. That's true. And you know, we're talking about what we're watching here, and we're conversing. So, you know, this is thoughts as we go along, and people will take it as they want. Let's go continue.
Let alone a marathon, let alone that train for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or
based on the Rubik's Cube thing, and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know. And if I refuse, it's just, well, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in. and talking to Psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that were saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work. And they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it.
I am playing
people I liked.
Quarter, just heads up. So.
And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair, turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God, everyone was looking at me. He was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. When you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. Just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before I got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges. So you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And I haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time. And I feel good now. Guys, how do you get that out there?
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Ryan, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey, Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good, and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy, and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better. Like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters, and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face. But hey, I'm out. I'm alive. Therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money. So good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking, too much, one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like, even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like, if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like, the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical, like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing, felt like a parody of MrBeast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned, and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production.
Okay, this is curious.
Oh, okay.
Now we're talking, because this is where things get interesting for me. Edward says, I just get back from watching this live. It gets crazier from here, like unforgivable crazy. MrBeast deserves to go down. All right, well, let's see.
Definitely interested, because just real quick, I mean, it's interesting because it's like it keeps going back and forth in a way. It feels like it's kind of going, you know, because at the end he goes, yeah, I got paid for the work that I did, 100,000 and some change, but like taxes. And it's like, yeah, but we've all, I mean, if I made 100K in a year, I got to pay taxes too. Like, it sucks, but it is what it is.
I don't want to hear anyone bitch about taxes after seeing my poor husbands.
Yeah.
Well, that's also like that's a big thing right now with MrBeast, because the guy came out, the one that won $1 million, and then they helped him.
Yeah, it all ties together.
They helped him, like, you know, spend that money in a day, and they only gave him like an hour to figure out what he was going to do with $1 million, which is life-changing money. And then they were going to provide him with financial help to help him invest for the future, and that never happened.
No, that's what he wished for, I thought.
Yeah, that's what he said in the video. MrBeast said that, you know, we need him to be responsible with the rest of the money, so we're going to give him some financial advisors. We're going to provide him with that, so to teach him how to invest. They never did that with that guy.
Yeah. It's kind
that never happened, which is why he ended up speaking about it.
If you guys are just popping in for the first time, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. As we check this out, apparently it's about to get worse along the way. So here we go. Wolfsbane says, came in with this, says, I know we're watching this, but just want to let you know that Upper Echelon just dropped another MrBeast video 5 minutes ago. Whoa. Oh, boy.
Yes, I'll go zoom through that real quick.
Another one.
Upper Echelon videos are great. I mean, he goes into incredible detail.
He does a great job. Let's go ahead and continue here.
Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called "No does not mean no." Already insane, because it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, "When dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules." Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that, when combined, dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like, a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but, you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer is sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative, and sort of they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I'd seen this Reddit post titled "MrBeast Leaving Trash Behind and Debris at Film Site in Aden, North Carolina." Apparently, he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called "Protect the Yacht, Keep It," where at the end of that video, he actually says,
if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yes, he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating a similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew. And because grace or forgiveness has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by MrBeast production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with MrBeast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say, but they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of like him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying, which, you know, I'm sure this isn't like technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it because I had it rough growing up. And I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand up, he loves YouTube, everyone fixates on a thing. I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior. If you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you can do some things that maybe aren't good, but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded.
Sav, real quick. I know you are, Sav, you with us? I know you got your mic muted right now. Tell us real quick about what you just said in the private chat. Tell it to everybody.
So the upper echelon video that was released 9 minutes ago now, he actually got access to the footage before it went live. So he uses some of it. And he says the entire interview is really important because it paints MrBeast as incredibly exploitive. This is the first time that we've had a solid 50 minutes of somebody actually speaking about that and the things that they endured. And then he backs it up with some science and some claims. I'm only about 4 minutes through right now, and he's currently talking about an actual, I guess, sex offender or something. So I can give you a better recap after I finish it. It's a 12-minute video.
Okay, you keep going with this.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense that he was given access to the video for his own video, just because I think he's mentioned before in one of his videos before that him and Dawson do talk behind the scenes. So
we're 10 minutes behind. So or 11 minutes. Let's go catch up here. Let's continue.
That video that you're watching is a total of 50 minutes and some odd seconds.
Okay, so it's 50 total minutes. Okay, so we're almost to the end. We got about 10 minutes left. Okay, let's continue.
He didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people. And those people were the ones making the decisions. And I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work at MrBeast who are damn good at their jobs. Like when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do. And so I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I don't care. I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, your neighborhood, something. Everybody loved it. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so when stuff started hitting the fan, what? Him? No, surely. And then, everyone, thought my mom was the bitch, for not, But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, You just go, well, when I saw my dad in the news, I said, oh, you idiots. I was like, no, I was, oh, dumbass, God damn it. but I wasn't surprised. And it was just a consequence that's happened to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy, and behind closed doors, he is not super great. And that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally. And it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, just one final question on a serious note. Obviously, the Ava Chris Tyson drama, and that's a known issue in traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast, just because I was on Beast Hacks, now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff. Because when I got there, it was like 2019. So I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term. And then they started bringing more people on. Maybe they thought they had that under the rug. All right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. And when I saw it, all that stuff started coming out, and the potentiality, as of this moment of recording, I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats, or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. After the shit he did to me, if you're going to make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens at this point.
Outside of it, Chris Tyson, did you notice any or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that
Okay.
Yes.
Not a small thing, man.
No.
That's a whole nother, fucking, yeah.
Wow.
You wonder who these people were?
Yeah.
And that's something that should not be glossed over
No,
at all.
no.
At all. That is a pretty damning statement. Let's continue
To put that out there on a video that he knows is going to has the potential to go viral like the first one did.
Oh, this will, yeah.
He has to know and have like some idea who it is. That is wow.
All right, let's go continue.
Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. He's very careful about his image. The tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything, who worked there.
They dropped a name. They put the full
did.
name there. Wow.
On the registry and everything.
Just take a quick glance here real quick, just so we can, I want to see what he did.
Charles Jefferson.
It says 4th degree SI, victim less than 18 years old. Victim's age 1. Okay, here we go. Let's go continue.
Who worked there. And like you can, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on that's one thing. You go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. If you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that.
Oh my.
He's running a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And
fourth degree is it involves intentional sex contact without consent. That's fourth degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around. Whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender and that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. So why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware.
Oh, Jesus.
That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why. You know? The fuck?
Well, I mean, if they
Did you
knew
know
that he's not allowed to go back to Delaware, they have to know why he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. Whoa. Fourth degree also includes where the perpetrator was in a position of power, like a teacher or a supervisor as well.
Everything about this is disgusting. And
Wow.
like, I mean, really, what do? You just go like, what? Wow. There's so much here. There's so much here. And it's yeah, you're right. Full Metal. It's heavy. It's just heavy. And like, I don't know how to respond to this. You know, technically we're doing a live stream, but I guess the only response or like a live response, but like the response is just like, damn. Like, oh my God.
Can you imagine, like, if this is he said that it was like a manager, right, at MrBeast. And it was covered up by Jimmy. How much he probably covered up for his best friend who has been there from the start of his MrBeast channel.
Yeah.
If you're willing to cover up somebody who's just a manager, but I mean, your best friend, I mean, I would do anything for my best friend, right?
Of course.
So.
All right. Well, it looks like there's just a couple minutes left. Sav, how you doing in that upper echelon video?
He basically considers this to be incredibly credible, and he uses it as a way to say that Jimmy clearly makes poor decisions and doesn't care, and he kind of ascertains that YouTube might be protecting him.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, I think it's
100% they are.
Yeah. So he basically talks about too this stuff at the end with the whole someone being hired by Beast who may have committed crimes against children, not being allowed back into the state. And he says, you know, doing that and putting that individual in front of children where children would eventually idolize this individual. That like, why? So I mean, it's a good video. It summarizes this. But the fact that it's coming from him kind of, if he believes this guy and thinks that it's credible, that says a lot.
All right, I think we're in the home stretch here.
The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
All right, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry. And that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. I believe that. I 100% believe that. They're trying to clean up. They're cleaning house right now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like what arrogance do you have? How much arrogance do you have to think that you can get that removed from someone's record?
Well, I will say this, and now I have a friend. He didn't sexually assault anyone, fortunately. He got in a fight, and that fight went poorly or whatever, and he actually had to get his record expunged. It's a very involved process. It's a lot of work. It's a very difficult thing to do, you know, and typically it only happens in cases where the person can prove that what they've they're not going to continue with whatever they've done. Like, it's not going to happen again. You can't just get it expunged, like anything expunged. But yeah, you also need a lot of money and effort and time to do it. And then also, whatever the crime is, it has to be within the context of, okay, yeah, this is a crime that when looked at through the court of law, you can go, yeah, this isn't something where we're removing it off this person's record isn't going to become a problem later to like society and stuff. It's not like you can just do that easily. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see, you know, if they're trying to actually get it expunged to clean it up, or if he was, you know, going in there trying to cover it up or hide it. So
Expunging also depends on the severity of the crime. It's easier to get minor infractions like petty theft expunged. Typically, you only have to do X amount of community service hours. But for higher degree things, they definitely look at the psychology of the person and then the severity of the crime.
The crime in question was like it was a felony. Like it wasn't a misdemeanor. It was like, yeah, my friend, it was a fight and the person almost died in the fight. So like it was a big like thing to have on your record.
They do not want to expunge stuff like that.
No. So if it's something that they are actually capable of expunging, that does murky the waters a little bit. But yeah.
Well, you asked what kind of arrogance it takes. Go back to that MrBeast thing. Don't take no for an answer. No doesn't mean no, right? They're so used to being told yes. He's so used to getting his own way, and you know, sort of flexing his platform, his power to get his own way. So yeah, he is incredibly arrogant. He thinks that, I mean, he has all the power in the world. He's got the backing of YouTube. He can get it done. No doesn't mean no, right? He can get it done.
Joel says the feds are going to get involved, IRS, FBI, etc. You know, the IRS is an interesting one because if you go back, and we're almost to the end of this, but if you go back to this note that was leaked, this quote unquote leaked thing from MrBeast, he does say that he's going to be hiring a new chief financial officer, right? How do you have a company that is generating the money? I mean, MrBeast generates millions of dollars every day for his channel, right? How do you have to have an amazing chief financial officer to be able to handle that stuff, that amount of money going in and money going out, accountants, whatever it may be on your team. Did they just not have one? Like, if they're hiring a new one, was there something wrong with it? That seems kind of an odd thing to just throw in there. Maybe
that email was basically telling on themselves that they're having some turnover and they might have gotten rid of people who were not 100% loyal. And I wouldn't be surprised if the former employee actually comes out and either breaks NDA or anonymously reports it. But the HR one is the most interesting one too, because they're saying we're getting a new HR person. Either they didn't have one prior, or again, they replaced them. And then it makes you wonder why. And then it links back to the investigation. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with private investigators that a company hires.
No, I have not.
No.
So I have. I had an issue with Twitch, and I didn't sign an NDA or anything like that. But they basically hired a third party to come in and interview people. And what they do is they sit everybody down. They ask you questions. They ask you to show proof. And then they'll make, they don't actually tell you whatever happens at the end of it. They actually never told me that the individual was terminated, which is a really weird thing. You would think that you would want to let people know that the problem individual was terminated, but they do it to protect privacy, supposedly. And then they make suggestions to the company. And so probably what's gone on is the private investigator that they've hired is already telling them, okay, you need to hire these people and do this.
Right. I could absolutely see that. Darth Revan came in and says, does he offer any proof? Did I miss it? If not, everything he said is rumor. If he's not careful, he can be sued for it. This is true. Everything right now is just speculation. I mean, there is a lot of truth in that, Darth Revan. But you're dealing with somebody who was on set, who had a video produced around them. And, at a certain point you go like, at a certain point you have to take somebody at their word, right? Especially if you can corroborate it with other witnesses or other people, which this guy who's, we're staring at on screen, he clearly has been contacted by a slew of people, all saying very close to the same thing here.
Yeah.
So let's go finish this up.
Off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
I'm going to slow this down really quick because that was a lot.
Okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who's in the last video telling Jimmy, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. Don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll.
Reed is the CEO of Night Media, if I'm correct. And Night Media used to represent MrBeast. They no longer do, from what I understand. So, just for reference.
Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know. But, I know I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with. So I'll just say preemptively, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background checks. Everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you or your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games. You should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out, Jake Weddle, top link in the description. I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
Okay, I gotta. Something about this guy doesn't sniff right. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Am I wrong on this? Maybe I am. I hear this guy's story. I'm empathetic towards the story, but he talks about in his while he's talking about he wanted to get the publicity for his channel, right? Wanted to he wanted to get the shine and stuff like that, and he kind of breaks after he gets promotion from this guy, right? Kind of breaks, and he follows up with, I've been waiting a long time, right? Is he breaking? And this is just the cynic in me. Is he breaking because he's excited to get it out, or is he breaking because he is going to get tremendous publicity from this?
It's funny because he's obviously he's either super autistic, which is a possibility, or he's because some of the nervous laughter and some of the way he responds, it's his body language is very off-putting, and it's like if he's on the spectrum or something, you can almost forgive him for being like, oh yeah, you know, like that's just how he talks and stuff like that, you know. But I don't know anything about, I haven't watched any of the videos he's been in with MrBeast and stuff. Maybe that's why they're cutting him out of the videos, I don't know. But some of his story to me and some of the way he's presented things does feel like somebody that's kind of bummed out that they didn't get to stick around with Jimmy. And now that everybody's piling on, he's like, oh yeah, man, like I'll definitely say something about what's been going on. I've been waiting to talk about this kind of stuff, you know. But then there's the other side of it too. Maybe he just, you know, had a lot of trauma. Maybe, you know, if he's on the spectrum and he's having his mental health issues and they took advantage of that without necessarily fully understanding the scope of what that looked like. But some of the text messages that they show feel like somebody that's like, I just can't get over this and I'm never going to move past this. Like, True. Not like, hey, you know, I can't sleep. Oh yeah, no, I'm, you know, it's like, I'm still not sleeping. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still not fully sleeping. I'm not 100%. But it's like, but you know, like he said at the end of that video, I think is very telling. As soon as they stopped, as soon as he pulled the ripcord and said, I don't want to do it anymore, there was a team of people icing his feet. There was a therapy person talking to him about where his mental health was at. All of his friends showed up to be there to help him and talk to him and be there for him. And I know he pulled, you know, specifically calls out Jimmy, but like there was other people there. So they had people all there for him at that moment. But once again, it's hard to know because I think some of it does come down to what kind of mental health is this guy like dealing with, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steph. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was thinking that like you hit on trauma, like maybe he just had a lot of trauma. I think that he did, you know. I can't remember how long he said he was in that room for alone. Was it like almost 30 days or something like that?
Well, doing the math, it sounds like it was closer to a little bit over a week, because if he did, let's just say he got $10,000 a day, he said he made about 100, and he did a couple of, you know, he did the Rubik's Cube in the marathon. Let's just say those were 10 grand a piece. I don't know. So we'll just say somewhere between 7 and 10 days.
Like if he experienced a lot of trauma, I don't know where he was mentally to start off, right, with doing this video. But he was talking about how he, you know, wanted to, if he's going to go through this, he wants to promote himself, and they wouldn't let him, right? He's going through all of that torture, and they won't even let him promote himself. And it sounds like when he was like, you know, go, I'm sure he's going to make more videos, go subscribe to his channel, the link will be there. It sort of like hit him like, that's all I wanted to do while I was going through that torture, was like promote myself. I wasn't allowed to. So it kind of feels like when you go through that and you have to actually like go through therapy afterwards because it was so traumatic, revisiting that years later can still be traumatic for you. I mean, that's me like trying to, I don't know, get into his mind space and see like, okay, well, maybe that's why it's coming off as so odd, because like realistically, I've never been through anything like that. So naturally watching somebody talk about it is going to sit a little bit uneasy with me because I've never been through anything. Can't relate, right? Can't relate to anything like that. So it's not going to come off genuine to me because it's kind of like, well, I mean, you did it, but you also made money. So I don't know. I might be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're going through that type of a trauma and then you have to go back and relive it because, you know, you have to get this story told, it can be traumatic all over again. So
I hear that.
And like the other side of it too is like, and I don't mean that, this is just me playing devil's advocate a bit. Like right now it's hot to go after MrBeast. There's blood in the water. Even if it's not a lot, it's still a little bit. People are going to frenzy around this because it's huge news. So it's also going to be really difficult right now to decide and to sift through who's doing this because they see it. There's a sense of justice of like, this needs to happen. We need to address this. We need to talk about this. And who's going, oh my God, I cannot wait to make my career on being the guy that took down MrBeast, or I can't wait to be the guy that struck out at MrBeast and drew blood on the guy. And I'm not, and I know that some people, there's going to be a mix of both, you know, but because it's the internet and because it's YouTube and all that stuff. So then like the question is like, how much of bringing this guy in here? Did they go, hey, talk about your story, tell me what's going on, and then let's put a camera in front of your face? Or is it like, man, we just really need to get a camera in front of you to help you work through what you're going through because we want to help you out? You know, it's a hard time. It's a hard thing to know exactly where anybody that's making the content sits when they make these videos and put them out, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, that's also like, hey, we just put you through this torture, but you know, here, we're going to offer you some therapy at, you know, afterwards, so you can't think negatively of us. And this, you know, taking somebody serious is not piling on MrBeast. MrBeast, there's been controversy surrounding him, and the voices are for years, and the voices just aren't elevated, right? Rosanna Pansino has been talking about it. There's the whole thing with Amazon and the thing that they're filming in Vegas. People are getting hurt, and people don't really care. They're not being fed properly. There was what was the other thing? I can't remember. Oh, the thing in Australia, you know, where they were supposed to win a car and the app fucked up, and nobody got a car. Like nobody was everybody won, but nobody got a car. Like there's been a lot of things that haven't been amplified, but have been piling up for so long. They're just not getting out there. Why? Because it's MrBeast, and he has this squeaky clean image. It's a perfectly crafted, manufactured image of, you know, of this perfect human that just wants to do good for the world, and they rely on that. But I mean, who else has like this well-crafted image, you know, based on kindness? Well, Ellen DeGeneres, right? For years, be kind. That was like her slogan, be kind, remember to be kind. And wouldn't you know it, she's an actual asshole behind the scenes. She's a terrible person. Yeah. You know, but she had this well-crafted image that was everywhere. She was also a bully, but she had this perfectly crafted image that people got behind, and they couldn't fathom, like, no way, not Ellen. She can't be an asshole, right? She can't be that terrible person. Look at all of the good she does for people. And right now, that's what's happening with MrBeast. Like, who cares? He does so much good for people. Who cares? There's no way. He's a really good guy. Look at all the things that he does for people, right? Yeah. And he has that is specifically crafted for instances like this, right? Yeah. For people who come out and say something and they're not believed, because there's no way that MrBeast, this perfect human who does so much good for the world, is like this behind the scenes. There's no way. And in that way, they've been able to use that audience and use that image to suppress a lot of voices that have been coming out over the years.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great point.
And look, I agree with everything that you said, right? But the question was, who's to gain most out of this, right? And while you're talking about this, I think that the answer from this video clearly is this Jake Weddle guy, right? He's gone up a couple thousand subscribers since this is gone naturally, right?
And he's got a video out too. I haven't had a chance to go through it, but he starts it off interestingly.
He has a 23 minute video, which coincided with the release of this video as well, right? Proper promotion, great. But I have one more thing when it comes to this guy, which is kind of perks my eyebrows a little bit. But I want to get to that in a second because we still haven't finished this video. Let's go and finish this real fast, and then I want to bring that to you guys to get your thoughts on what I just discovered.
I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you do.
What did they zoom in on?
Oh, look like a taser, bro. Got a taser on the table.
Okay, so is that it? I guess that's it. Special thanks, Jake Weddle. Produced. If you have a similar story, please feel free to reach out. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's the end of it. So when you look at Jake Weddle, right, and this is just me being journalist guy, right? You try to exhaust the resources associated with this. You see his YouTube channel right here, and has gone up a couple thousand subscribers. You go to his website, it has all sorts of stuff. You know, interesting. His website has links to his X and Twitter account, which his Twitter account doesn't exist anymore. Actually, if you were to click up here, it says the account doesn't exist. So he scrubbed that, right?
Or he changed the username and he just didn't update the hyperlink.
Potentially, but he also on his YouTube, it's the same link. So There's that. But the other interesting thing about the YouTube channel is that he went in and he deleted some stuff. He deleted something, which is what you see with viewers when viewership is, you see a giant drop here, is they deleted deleted some views. And if you look at the timing of this, he had to have known, like he deleted something here that he didn't want people to see, or he unlisted it or whatever it may be. And this would time out to him doing that interview. So what that is, I don't know. But that just, to me, it just, I don't know. I raise my eyebrows at that a little bit. And it's just like, that doesn't.
You kind of have to have an unsound mind to do the types of things and be a yes man for someone else. It's kind of like taking a crack addict and saying, yeah, man, I'll give you your crack. Just do the thing. But then it never comes. I think the money was important to him in a sense because but let me rephrase that. The money wasn't important to him to, it wasn't the most important thing to him, because this is not the first person to come out and say, yeah, we were told that we were going to get promoted and then it never came. So when it comes to exposing people, they'll obviously do it for a variety of reasons, but this is still, we have to reference this frame that he is the largest YouTuber in the world. He gets more views on his content than Disney did on The Acolyte in its totality. And it's not easy to do this. I'm not trying to defend him or anything, but this, it's not the first time that somebody was denied promo, and maybe the promo was his crack at the time because he wanted to go off and do his own thing. He speaks several times about wanting to be a comedian. It's something that he spent his money on that he got. And so that promo at the time would have been phenomenal for him. And I don't doubt the guy will grow because of this. And in a sense, that could actually be his vindication. But his words help paint a broader picture that back up others who have come out. So right now, people like Upper Echelon are painting a broad picture. It's not just about this guy. It's about his specific words and the things that he says that can then be linked to actual paper trails that will basically be MrBeast's stain.
Right. And you're 100% right, because yes, he's, of course, MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber in the entire world. So having eyes on him, he's going to grow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's inevitable. He's going to get views and support for coming out. But at the same time, there is that risk, right? Because MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber in the world with blindless fans who will forgive anything that he does because he does so much to help the world. So what if he's mean to people? So he's going to get either as much hate as he's going to get support. So there is that risk of him coming out and talking. And also, I don't know if he was employed by MrBeast, everybody who's employed by MrBeast so far has signed an NDA. Did he talk about that before the video? Did I miss that? Did he say that he is breaking an NDA by talking?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he is risking a lot. He is risking
he's risking legal threat, basically.
He's risking legal threat. So there is a lot of potential for him to lose as much as he's gaining by coming forward.
He could lose more than he gains. But the other side to it too, and to definitely try to drive home, is that even instances, look at Jackass, for example, look at people who are masochists who put themselves through dumb shit on the internet. Everybody has a breaking point. And at some certain point, he realized how he was being treated. And he said enough was enough. When he stopped doing the video, the money stopped being important. He was obviously down bad for money. He wanted to do it. It wasn't, and he wanted the exposure. But at a certain point, he broke. And that's really important to note too. Once you realize that, and once you kind of look at the whole situation, no matter how you look at it, MrBeast is not a good person for this.
No.
I'll be interested to see when we actually hear from YouTube. If YouTube actually says anything about this.
I don't think they're going to say anything about it. He would have to be doing so, because I've look at fucking Sniper Wolf, right? And the whole Jax Films debacle and everything that went down. She literally went to his house, put it on her Instagram, and they were both faulted for it. Right? Both of them. YouTube will protect and change their rules to protect their top people.
And we've seen it happen
A
a
lot.
lot.
Oh, the other thing,
James Charles is
The
still
James
out
Charles
there.
thing. James
and he
Charles is
talked
still
to
out there making videos,
multiple
making money.
minors.
He's on TikTok still doing collabs with minors.
With
they're-
minors.
Yeah. So there is they will protect their higher earners. They will protect the people that they
the other
need
thing I
to
want to say too before I forget, and I actually got to get going, is the other big thing that Upper Echelon brought up is that multiple people now are coming forward and saying that Beast is trying to discredit them with a private investigator. He didn't name names or anything, but he did say he's getting a lot of statements about that, and the fact that Dogpack had those texts, which nobody could technically verify, and even he was like, "What the hell? This could be a prank." I don't know. But now that multiple people are saying it, that's kind of a big deal. But I gotta get going.
Yeah. We should probably wrap here too.
Well, just real quick to just on Savvy's thing too. I know people that have worked specifically. I'm just talking about the entertainment industry and stuff. But like when you go at some of these bigger corporations and stuff like that, yeah, that is something that it is a go-to tactic that they will do. They will hire private investigators. I have friends who got in legal trouble with some of these companies and found people digging through their trash to find stuff, because if they can get any leverage on you, they will, so they can use it against you, because the last thing they want is for their name to get dragged through the mud because you have all the power when it comes to the, like you're wielding a giant legal sword against them that they don't have anything to defend themselves with. So that is absolutely a go-to of theirs.
Oh yeah. As soon as he said that he was hiring private investigators, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't to investigate Chris Tyson. This is to investigate the people that are coming after MrBeast and are going to stain the MrBeast brand. That is why these private investigators are being brought in. It's to make sure that his image doesn't get run through the mud any more than it has been. Like,
and
that's
to uncover leaks.
Yeah, and they're doing their job because they're coming after him. They're coming after Dogpack, right? Dogpack. They're coming after Dogpack like twice, threatening legal action. They're looking up, trying to dig stuff up around him. They're coming after a bunch of people. So I mean, like, they are doing their job as the private investigators. And I love the way MrBeast framed it. Like, we're gonna investigate into this. Like, he's a good guy. Like, don't worry, we're gonna dig this up and make it right. No, it's full on protection for MrBeast.
Yeah. Well,
you're muted.
Craig is
Captain.
Craig is
Captain,
muted.
you're muted.
It wouldn't be a Craig stream without him boomering.
Yeah. I didn't want to be rude, but I love you guys. Goodbye.
Nice
Bye.
All right. Hey, that was fun. That was also deep, man. That was hard to get through. Mike, Steph, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us. Dude, listen, man. I all at the end of the day, like, I have no dog in the fight as far as MrBeast getting taken down, but the last thing I want to do is see little people getting stomped on by giant corporations. And MrBeast is not just a person; it is a corporation. He is a brand on YouTube, and if he is doing wrong, it needs to come to light. He needs to be held accountable, and I hope that no matter how much influence he has, no matter how much influence YouTube has, listen, Cat Williams told everybody this was the year, and he has not been wrong. He has not missed at all, and I really hope that whatever happens here, that people that were done wrong get the justice that they deserve, because that's what matters at the end of the day, is that the people that were wronged see justice prevail. So
yeah, and MrBeast has enough money to go after them and pretty much clean them out, right? He doesn't need to. Right? He can let this happen. But it's all in protection of MrBeast. You see Logan Paul doing the same thing right now to CoffeeZilla because he sued CoffeeZilla for defamation, and the type of lawsuit that he's using against CoffeeZilla will drain CoffeeZilla financially, right? So like, he doesn't need to do that. Logan Paul has all the money in the world. All he has to do is pay back the money that he pretty much stole from people, but he's not going to do that. There's no accountability there. And the same thing with MrBeast. He's not going to take any type of accountability. He's MrBeast. How dare you even accuse him of such things, right? So he's going to use all of his money and all of his power to get his way, to clean up this mess and to silence all of these voices that are coming out.
Well, I guess we'll see how this goes for sure. I think that this is such a unbelievable story. I guarantee we're just starting to go up the hill right now. Like people talk about, it's all falling. Nope, not even close.
Mm-mm.
Like I think this is going to go deeper and further than we could even imagine. But you guys go check out Steph, go check out Mike, and of course appreciate you guys popping in. Be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. We're back with a normal show. We got Salty Cracker on our show tomorrow morning. It's going to be
Salty Army.
the best. So looking forward to having
I work
Salty
for
on.
Salty Cracker.
Yeah.
You do?
I
Stuff
do,
works
yeah.
for everybody.
Jeez,
I do.
crazy. Awesome.
I love Salty.
Salty's the best. Thank you guys
All right,
very much. By the way, yeah, you guys get out of here. I'll get these last couple super chats. But Joe says, I don't know.
Bye, everybody.
You guys get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Thanks,
All right.
Mike. See you, Steph. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Joe came in, says, I don't know, Craig, that guy was crying with no tears. I could be wrong, but it looks like bad acting. So, hey, thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. And Squatch Hammer says, if YouTube is playing interference with accusations or exposure for MrBeast and any criminal activities makes them an accessory to the crime. Interesting thought, Squatch Hammer. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this with us. I did not know how long that was going to last, but it certainly did last a long time, and it was deep, and it was a lot. But so you guys have a great rest of your day. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning. We're back at 11 a.m. Central Time. Get some rest. And I'll see you guys then. Have a great night. Bye-bye. In stream. Fart.